Hello, Tam. Welcome. And maybe you can tell our audience, introduce a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Tam. I am a mom and also an entrepreneur. I have started several businesses over the entire my career. But when I moved to Singapore, I decided to start GL Solution, which is a company that helps other companies expand overseas, international.
Okay. So how did you get into this business?
I think it will way back to my first ever business, which is when I was 10 years old. So my parents were one of the very early generations of e-commerce entrepreneur back in the day in Vietnam. And what they did was they helped me set up my first online store. And it was a aquarium equipment store. You sell fish and all the things for your fish tank.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's where I first had my taste of seeing an idea going into an actual business and operations. Of course, I got a lot of help, but what kind of clicked with me for international is that we start getting orders from overseas. People ordering fish from Vietnam, sending to Germany. And this was way long time ago. Yeah. So it was always a wow moment for me and realize that with the internet, now you can easily grow your business internationally, whatever you are. And I would love to help more people able to achieve their global international dream through online.
Yeah, and I guess, with internet and these days it's a lot easier and, social media is a lot easier to reach audience who are not within, our own country or where we're not bound geographically, right? But back then.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if you have a good product and you kind of can make a good product, then you actually can sell anywhere, even though not only in your own country, but it could be overseas because the population is so big.
So going from, yourself being an e-commerce business owner to finding out ways to ship live fish into another country.
Yes.
So that must have taken you some time to learn about the law and rules and regulation to go around that?
Yeah, so back in the day, I had help from my parents who were the one that handled the shipping, all the paperwork stuff. But as I get older and I start helping with the business, my family business, which is in the logistics. So I start helping actually with clients also in e-commerce brand to doing the paperwork, going to their dream markets. And I can see how challenging it is for them to be oh, I make this product and now I have to go through all these hoops to prove to another country that is qualified, is good, is high quality to go in there. So GL Solution is born because I really want to help e-commerce brands, owners to grow their business, but keep the team lean. And we can be an extension of their team for international trade, for logistics, and for, paperwork and license.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, you've been in the business, since you're young till what it is today. It's probably just okay, no problem. I can do it, right? Because you already learned all the mistakes and what can be done or you shouldn't be done. So for people who are maybe watching right now, they're in e-commerce, they have a product, they have a brand that they've started, and they think, okay, especially in Singapore, it's such a small market, right? Yeah. We're always wanting to go overseas. What is that number one thing that people should realize about? What's the one thing that I should know about wanting to venture? What is the one thing that I should already have?
Whatever your product is, the one thing that you should already have is international shipping. You can start, if you have an online website, an online Instagram accounts or Facebook, you can already start taking international orders, people who are reaching, because you don't know where is the potential market. So you don't know that until you offer that availability. And when you start offering that, orders will come in, and then that's when you can figure out, how do I ship it? And you can easily start small, which is pack your product and ship it through the postal network. So postal service is a international, global shipping network owned by government to provide affordable shipping, so where you send letters and things like that. So you can already utilize that network to start shipping your first international orders.
Right. So it's fairly easy. You just need to, find out how you start accepting orders. But then the second question is international post, expensive.
Yes. So that's when I think it is expensive initially, but I think that's the cost to learn. It's to go over the learning curve to understand what it takes, what are the paperwork, what are the necessary steps to really deliver your products overseas. Once you able to identify the winning markets, let's say you have 5 different customers from different markets who order from you, you can, see which are the winning markets or really high demand from, and then you can start investing in scaling up in that specific markets.
Yeah, I like what you say about you need to test this market, because sometimes what you have a fantastic idea, it just may not work in your existing market, but it may land with people from another market.
Yeah.
So start small, start from just shipping and, individually through posts if you have to.
Yeah.
And then when you realize that, hey, there's actually this big market there, then you can look at scaling up.
Yeah.
And that's when typically where you and GOL Solution come in and help them. So how would this take them from, me individually get a order through online and then, going to the post office, rapid ship it, to your solution? What's the, I know it's in bulk, but what are some of the consideration?
Sure. I think the first thing is to basically validate the demand, that which is the learning curve or the step that we just talked about. And then afterward, that's when we decided to have a bulk storage for your products in that country. And basically what happen when you send a big orders versus a small individual order is that you lower your shipping costs by 50-70%. That's just how, because now you're not sending through airplane, but you can consider, like sending by trucks, or you're sending by shipping, the sea freight, then all those makes your costs significantly down. So the first step is to basically figure out how to send in bulk in. And with bulk shipments, that means you will now have to you need all the official paperwork to import the products. So think about license, invoice, your list of items inside that bulk shipments, all those documentations you will need to present to the custom to bring your products in.
Is it possible for, let's say, I'm a business owner, I'm trying to figure out it by myself. Is it possible for them to do it themselves?
It is possible, but it will need you to get over a learning curve, right? I think anything you can DIY. Yeah. But when it comes to DIY, that means that you either spend time or spend money to learn something. So, so you either lose a lot of time to learn about something, or you lose money because you make mistakes.
Yeah. Or just, get someone to set up so is this like an ongoing thing? So let's say, I want to ship about a group, a big amount of product into another country.
Let's say your lipstick.
Yeah, so let's say lipstick product, right? I want to go into, let's say, Malaysia. Is the setup cost one time with you, or is it ongoing?
Usually depends on the country. It could be a yearly or every 3 years or every 5 years.
Okay, so what are some of the things I should be aware of, whether I am looking for a partner like yourself, or I'm trying to do it for myself? Give me a list of things that we are supposed to look into.
Sure. The first thing you need to look into is make sure all the material or ingredients that your product is not prohibited in that country. Let's say you have 10 ingredients in your lipstick, and there's one, maybe color additive is not allowed in Malaysia. Then your product wouldn't able to go in, and you will need the formulation if you want to target Malaysia.
Okay, so where can I find out about like certain ingredients is allowed or not?
Usually the country official website will have those informations for
Okay.
you. Yeah.
So that's one.
That's one, ingredients. And then the second thing is the label. What it say, what is print on the packaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a false advertisement or
Correct.
that's in line with the marketing guideline?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And also maybe local language also need as well. And the third thing is you need a local entity to register the products under. So like what do you call it? Importer on record?
Okay.
Yeah, an importer on record.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you need to find someone in that country who would put their name on the entity.
Yeah.
Or could I go and start a company in that country?
Yes, you can.
Right.
But I would advise to find an importer on record, which is a service provider who offer the local entity service. Because if you set up your own entity, that means you now have to deal with the local tax, all the administration's work to have that entity. So having a third-party service provider is a better way to just kickstart the operation.
So you don't have to worry
through
about
all
all those things, right? There's another set of tax to file.
Yes,
at the end of it.
exactly.
Okay, what else?
And then the last thing is probably somebody who deliver your products. You need someone who store the products in Malaysia, and then when there's an order, they will be the one take it out and deliver to the customer.
Okay, so when someone say, okay, let's say I come to you, I don't want to be dealing with all of those things, right? I want to focus on sales and ideally marketing in the new market. I don't want to be dealing with all of this logistics, admin stuff.
Yeah.
So when people come to you, what's the process that you take them through?
So the first process, what we do for them is we help them understanding what is required for their product in that country. So all the things that like ingredients, the packaging or the importer license, all that, we'll identify what it's the requirements for the products, because we just have an example of lipstick, but for fashion or for maybe supplements or maybe like jewelry, they have different regulations, and some are more difficult than the others. So we'll basically identify what is needed to be done. And then, after we identify the timeline and what's the process, then we will complete the application and manage the entire process for you.
Okay, and also that includes finding that third-party importer on record, and also warehousing and shipment in that country.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So
that saves a lot of time.
Yeah. So basically,
and research.
Yes. So basically, as long as you make a decision of like, okay, this Malaysia is my market, or Singapore is my market that I want to go in, then we'll help to smoothen the activation process. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's dial back, right? And now people are probably thinking, okay, if that sounds pretty simple, right? Just let someone deal with the paperwork, and then we can start shipping in bulk. At what point in my business, right? I'm just thinking for our business owners out there. At what point in my business should I start considering taking this step?
I think there are two ways for you to take it. Revenue base is one. So as I said, if you having orders from a lot of country and you've been shipping individually, then yes, you can identify the top 1 or 3 to start working on going in more more commitment to that country, to that market. The second one is actually, what is your long-term goal? Do you want to go into the supermarket? Do you want to go into the pharmacy store and all that stuff? Then I think this is a good stepping stone for you to build that brand recognitions in the market. Yeah, and so nowadays, it can take 2 years for you to get a deal with a supermarket,
right?
Basically, to sell your lipstick. Then by looking into invest in branding and marketing and proving that there are demand in Malaysia or in Singapore for your lipstick products, it proved to the big buyers that this is a legitimate brand that they can invest in and purchase more.
Right. So it's more of like, let's do the groundwork first before going to all these retailers or distributor for you to show that, hey, I have track record. There are people within this country that want my product. So then they are more likely to say stock you in the department stores or supermarket.
Correct. Yeah, we've seen this happen around the world. A lot of consumer brand where they when they decided to launch in the market with online channel first, using TikTok, Instagram, Shopee, Lazada, all that. And then once they establish their brand, then they can now working with distributors. Because if you go in the traditional way, which is usually them going to find a reseller and work, it takes 2-3 years, even 5 years, just to follow and chasing them until that brand, that reseller look at you.
Yes, because the reseller they have to, most of the time from what I understand is all your resellers or these department stores, they are paying rent, right? And for your product to go in there, they need to allocate a space for you, which costs them a lot. So if you don't have a proven type of results that your product is something that their consumer or their shoppers would want, they would not take the risk, basically.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I think if you can utilize online channels as as the first channel to go into new market, it will fast track you into a long-term stay in that market.
Yeah, sounds good. And so, remind me again, do you help people, because we have viewers from everywhere. So do you help businesses coming into Singapore or Singapore going out, or both ways?
Both ways.
Both ways.
So we help with any business around the world that would like to go into some destination region like South Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and even North America.
So that's your area of expertise.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and we're planning to build up more expertise in Europe or like the upcoming region like Middle East as well.
Okay. Thanks. I've been learning a lot from Tam, and if you're interested to maybe take your brand overseas and explore what are some of the things that you must know before expanding and going to other markets, we have an upcoming webinar on the 10th of October at 10 a.m. Singapore time. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. So if you're interested, please click on the link and secure your spot. So let's come back to getting to know Tam a little bit more. So let's switch gear a little bit. So you mentioned you're a mom and you have been in this business and you had multiple businesses, but once you became a mom and came to Singapore, you decided to focus on this one business. Why?
Well, this business is kind of my way to prove that Singapore can be my second home. I moved to Singapore because I started my family and my husband is based here. And when we start our family, I have to make a decision, right, on basically moving my livelihood in Vietnam to Singapore. And I was presented with two options. One is that to find a job and work in corporate like the usual route, or the second way is to start my own business, which I was fortunate enough to have my husband's support to try the second route. Because I think deep down, I know that in order for me to really see Singapore as my second home, I really have to be myself, which is making my own business, like having my own thing to run and be surrounded with people like you.
I'm glad I'm part of that community. And so was it hard, especially, starting in a brand new country and starting a business at the same time?
Yes.
So do you find that starting business in Singapore is maybe harder than back home, or is the other way around?
I think it's definitely harder because I guess in Vietnam I know people, right? I've been there for my whole life, so it's so much easier to start something because you can easily start something idea, and then you can ask someone, your friends, to help out and support. But from Singapore, is like starting from scratch. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows what we do. So I have to really go through the learning curve of, how do I make people connect with me and know what I do, which also very exciting, because it's definitely very fun to getting, all these education and learning.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're basically starting from a clean slate.
Yeah.
No one knows me here. I just need to sort of build my personal branding, build my expertise around this area. I'm this person with this knowledge that I can help you, but then like really go out there and reach out to all these companies who would look for your expertise, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that journey. How did it go?
It was rewarding and challenging at the same time. I think the first year I went through a lot of fear and self-doubt. And actually, that's how one of the reasons why I signed up with the Mom Boss community, because I felt very lonely. It's the first time that I ever worked on something all by myself.
Right.
Where in Vietnam, I can have my team who can work together with me. So just able to see other people or talk to other people that are going through the same thing, working on something for themselves is what I was really needed at the time.
I see.
Yeah.
So what was the one thing that you felt really helped you throughout this journey?
Definitely community. Yeah, talking to people that going through the same thing or working on something together. We come together, sharing our challenge and, have extra heads to think and solve the challenge together.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why really helpful to have, conversation with you and learning and, just get that extra insight from you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad that it was helpful. So I guess the next question I have is, going through this, it was hard. You have the community. You find that you're not doing it all by yourself. And I guess you're already an entrepreneur at heart because you started your business already prior to this. So you're no stranger to giving things a try, right?
Yes.
So what was like the one thing that you really was hesitant to try or do that now that you have done, you realize that, damn, I should have,
I think that would be content creation and community building. Wait, let me see. Decide which one to be the
both. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, both.
Why were you resistant toward content creation? That's number one question. Why? Because you're not alone.
Yes.
So many of my students are, really? Do I have to create content? Do I have to put myself out there? I'm a very private person. Sounds familiar.
Yes. Well, actually, because I answer content creation as the whole entrepreneur journey, but I think that wasn't the main core hurdle for me for this particular business, because previously I had my podcast.
Yeah.
So I already kind of went through that. Why do I want to do content creation? Yeah. And for me personally, I see that is one of the skill that will be useful for the next 10 to 15 years. So I determined to invest in time and resource to learn and kind of get excellent on that part. So content creation, I think, was not the main part, but the community. Yeah, community building. I guess in my journey in entrepreneur, I encounter a lot of clients and brand owners where I wish I can help them more. I know I can help them with maybe license or logistic or something like that, and maybe we only cross paths for a little bit on that particular issue. But because I know how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur, sometimes I want to help. I want to help more. I know what they're going through when growing internationally, dealing with foreign etiquette that you don't really familiar about. Finding reliable partner is not easy, all those things makes me really want to help them more.
Yeah. And especially if you know something is, sometimes what people are doing is wrong and it's going to cost them so much money and mistake, and you don't know if you should share, right? So yeah, I totally see what you mean right there. And so I wish you all the best in building this community of maybe whether you're thinking of expanding right now or maybe in the future, it's good to at least have someone in your back pocket. I always believe that, in the power of community, that, if I have a question about something, I can go to this person or just give them a short text to at least clarify my idea or am I thinking way out or am I on the right track? So that's very important, giving yourself being part of a community and asking the right person the right question to get the answer that you want so that you move forward in your business a lot quicker. So with that, I wrap this episode up. I hope that you have gotten a lot of value and learn a lot about things to consider, especially if you're thinking about expanding overseas beyond your local market. And if you're really interested about what are some of the way, really the step-by-step, and maybe how to avoid some of the costly mistakes that people make when trying to expand overseas, I invite you to come to our joint webinar on the 10th of October. See you again soon. Bye.